This episode of the Marketing Podcast is brought to you by Acorn 30.
Wait, that's our company.
Right. Although some people think we're a bit nuts, we work with businesses to help them grow into mighty oaks through creative campaigns, amazing websites, and funky branding. Check us out at acorn30.com. Coming up, NBC makes a boatload of money off of the Super Bowl. Coke is coming out with a new Super Bowl ad. Honda, not advertising in Super Bowl. And Heinz employees get Super Bowl Monday off.
Creativity sells. Applying the right creative at the right time is the recipe for great marketing. The Marketing Podcast looks at marketing news and finds the secret ingredients that make great marketing.
Hi, welcome to the Marketing Podcast. I'm Heather Watson.
And I'm Brendan Quigley.
How you doing, Brendan?
Excellent.
Are you going to watch the Super Bowl?
No,
Do you ever watch the Super Bowl?
I watch football, but
Okay.
not that football.
CFL?
No.
Okay.
World Cup.
World Cup. Oh, that kind
See
of.
what I did there?
The footy.
How I'm like the most snobby person right now. I watch football, you know, the real football,
The
not
real.
the American football.
Yeah. No, I watch the Super Bowl. I don't watch football. I
Right,
barely
okay.
know the rules, and I'm not into the Super Bowl parties. Couldn't care less. But I love watching Super Bowl for the ads.
There you go. Well, I always watch the ads, but that's on YouTube
Sure.
after the fact.
Well, and the halftime show.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Last halftime show I remember was Janet Jackson.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Wasn't that with
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake? Yeah.
Yeah.
The wardrobe malfunction.
Moving on.
Moving
and-
on.
Yep.
This is our Super Bowl episode, and I am super excited. Again, not for the football, but for the ads. I like to watch the American feed of the Super Bowl.
Right, okay. They get the best ads.
They get the best ads. We just get a totally different ad set in Canada. So I'm kind of excited as to who's doing what. And
I feel like it was Apple that made this a thing with their 1984 ad. You remember with the future and the woman runs through and throws they always say that that's like one of the iconic ads.
It is,
and
yeah.
it was the Super Bowl whatever.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people spend a lot of money in advertising. And here I have an article that talks about just that kind of money. So Variety.com is reporting that NBC, the U.S. network that's going to be broadcasting the Super Bowl this Sunday, is going to be netting $1 billion. Now, it's not just on Super Bowl advertising. It also includes...
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Includes the
The Olympics.
Olympics, something else. But that's
Yeah.
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. A lot of people are spending big coin.
You know what? I can see it. Like, of all of the TV that's out there, you know that there's people watching the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Versus, arguably, other TV that's out there right now. Everyone's DVRing and skipping.
And skipping. Whereas this is the one show
Yeah.
where the commercials get as much attention, I can speak, as the game itself.
How do you feel, football?
Yeah.
That mustn't feel good, football.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
just
I
teasing
think
at this point.
It's great. Yeah, they're loving it because they're taking that money all
That's
the
true.
way to
That's
the
true.
bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 30-second spot. It's getting north of $5 million for a 30-second spot, friends. Now, don't tell me that television advertising is dead,
Wow.
right?
A 30-second spot of the Marketing Podcast, a lot cheaper.
A lot cheaper. And we'd love to talk to you about how you can allocate that marketing budget.
Exactly.
A
Yeah.
smidgen of that
Yeah.
for our podcast. So they're going to be making a lot of money, and with that, we're going to see, you know, obviously, if somebody's paying $5 million, in excess of $5 million for a 30-second spot, some great ads.
But really, eh? Like, we just spent $5 million on the spot, and now we've got to spend another large amount on making the ad.
On production and
The
the creative.
yeah.
And absolutely.
Wow.
And it's funny because our next piece actually talks about that. Ad Age is reporting that Coca-Cola is planning a new ad for their 2018 Super Bowl after running repeats in 2017. So they booked a spot in 2017, paid their north of $5 million so that they
And
could
ran
get
the
it.
same ad?
And ran the same ad as they did in 2016. What a letdown. What a waste of resources. Or maybe they were like, shoot, we don't have any more resources. We got to run what we ran last year.
Interesting. I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so they are reporting, yes, we're definitely going to be running a different ad, but they're not giving any details because that's part of the
Man, if I
the
was
je ne
if
sais
I was
quoi of it all.
if I was Coke, I'd run the same ad. Kind of like the knock knock joke. Banana, banana, banana.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad I didn't? Yeah.
Aren't you glad?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the 12th year that Coke will be running a Super Bowl appearance consecutively. They ran them, in 52 years of Super Bowl, so they've run them prior to that in the past, but they have moved away from their 2-year-old Taste the Feeling campaign, and they've re-aired some old spots, but this time it's going to be an absolutely new one.
So,
And
like
it'll
to
be
take the
interesting.
5 million number, they've ran over $60 million worth of
30
ads.
seconds. So wait,
30, like
so how many years? 12 years, or 12? Yeah, 12 consecutive years.
360 seconds.
6 minutes. 6 minutes of advertising. The reality is, people talk about these ads for time again, and they
$60
watch
million.
them. They watch them on YouTube, so that's you're getting the extended
If
value.
you're an actor in one of those ads.
Usually what happens is that they roll out those ads, like they launch the ad during the Super Bowl, but then you see
then it
it
plays.
on other,
Right.
on your favorite episode of blah, blah, blah down the road.
Right.
Right? So Coke has decided to finally, not finally, but dust off and do something new. Honda, on the other hand, Adweek is reporting that they have decided to not do their ad in 2018, where in the past they have done an ad for the last 3 years to promote their sports utility vehicle, the CRV. And they've decided not to advertise this time around because it doesn't align well with the timing of their product launch activities. Now, that's the quote from the brand ambassador, the brand manager over at Honda. They continue to be a believer in the ability to connect with consumers through live sports, including the NFL, and they will be airing ads during the playoffs,
Okay.
but not during the Super Bowl
Interesting.
itself. So, maybe it's bang for their buck. They could probably get the entire playoffs for $5 million versus 30 seconds for $5 million,
Yeah, right.
right? Like
Right.
it could be that, or it could be timing. I don't know. Like, I think about cars, and November they start talking about the newer models. Come February, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
The
The new model that's now old.
The new model that's now
Yeah,
old.
I can see the issue. But
So-
if they've done it in the past, it asks.
3 years, they've maybe
Yeah.
just decided they haven't got the ROI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I'd love to know what some of these companies are doing for social media during the Super Bowl, because it's so popular now to have a hashtag going
sure.
for these events. Are they hashtag hijacking?
Yeah, and it's interesting
Yeah.
because RPA, who is their creative shop at Honda, in the past did a 60-second spot for yearbooks, which was kind of fun because they were featuring high school yearbook photos from celebrities like Stan Lee, Viola Davis, and Tina Fey, which would have been fun. They've dodged the question around their plans for social campaign or guerrilla-style Super Bowl effort.
Yeah, that's
So they might do a hashtag this or a hashtag that kind of thing, right? I still think the best one, and I'm embarrassed to say what sport it was because I don't recall.
Football.
But it was, I know the brand was Oreo, and in the stadium, whatever the sport was, the lights went out, and Oreo did something on Twitter that it was like,
Oh, they just took advantage of it.
they took advantage, like actually the lights went out, like it was a power failure.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
that 30 seconds it takes for the generators to spark up. They tweeted something out, and I can't remember what it was, but it was so brilliant, and they got so much leverage out of it just by being in the right place at the right time. I haven't. My Google fingers aren't fast enough. Are you using your Google Foo? I don't know if it was a hockey game. all of our listeners.
Super Bowl.
Oh, it was Super Bowl.
Timely.
There you go. Yeah. So they.
This
Go
one's
ahead.
from Wired. How Oreo won the marketing Super Bowl with a timely blackout ad on Twitter.
That's right. It was Super Bowl.
Interesting.
So how did that go down? They tweeted. What did they tweet?
So during the third quarter of the Super Bowl, XLVII, when a power outage at the Superdome caused some of the lights to go out for 34 minutes, the Sandwich Cookies social media team jumped on the cultural moment, tweeting an ad that read, "Power out? No problem," with a snarky lit image of a solitary Oreo and the caption, "You can still dunk in the dark."
There you go. Yeah. Because when that happened, so it was 34 minutes. It wasn't a 30-second thing. I forgot. Man, time just goes past.
And it said some. I doubt every single light went out. You know, it said some of the lights went out.
Yeah. So it caused game delay, I remember. And of course, you know, we have talked about this before. People turn to the Twitter in real time to find out what's going on.
It said it almost immediately got 15,000 retweets.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Because everybody is trying to figure out why their Super Bowl isn't happening.
Yeah.
And Oreo was quick on
Yeah.
the draw, did the right hashtag to go with it. And I don't even think we're advertisers during that particular episode, but probably got the most advertising buck
There you go.
from being in the right place at the right time. So I don't know if Honda has, you know, some sort of plan to do something around that. They're not talking about it. They're being a little coy around speculation about their involvement with Super Bowl. You know who's not involved with Super Bowl this year?
Me?
Or last year? You also? Is Heinz. So this was pretty cool. This came out of Time magazine last year. So this was last year's Super Bowl. Heinz decided to not do their 30-second Super Bowl ad spot. Instead of paying that $5 million, they said that they wanted to give their salaried employees the day off following the big game. So the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday. And in fact, the company took the Super Bowl stunt so seriously that they created a change.org petition to, quote, make the Monday after the big game a national holiday, which garnered 11,000 supporters. And that was like before last year's Super Bowl. And then they also created a hashtag SMonday.
Ooh, painful.
So this is like, you know, statistics show that over 16 million people call in sick or just don't show up to work the morning after Super Bowl because of all those fantastic Super Bowl parties and
Air
late
quotes.
nights.
Air quotes, fantastic.
Air quotes, fantastic. Yeah. Which says the country loses roughly $1 billion in productivity because of all these people who are calling in sick.
Wow.
It's a big deal.
Wow. That's impressive.
No, you can't have that Monday off, Brendan.
NBC is making the productivity difference.
Yeah. That's a funny parallel,
Yeah.
isn't it? Though.
Yeah.
So they're having some fun with it, or they did last year.
I think I've heard of other companies doing similar things. Like instead of doing expensive ad campaigns, giving back to their employees.
Sure.
And I think when you're a large company like that, right? Is an ad campaign.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I think of the ability on Facebook to target employees of a company. Target your own employees.
Yeah.
And give them something.
Yeah. Oh, I get Monday off. What do you mean you get Monday off? You know?
I want to work for Heinz too.
Yeah. And I mean, it's fun because they played it up on change.org and did the whole petition and tried
right.
to draw some kind of bigger awareness to it. And they got advertising by not advertising.
All right. So let's talk about then advertising for sports.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Super Bowl. This is like the biggest sporting event. It's $5 million for 30 seconds. But what about the medium businesses and the small businesses and the mom and pops in your local community?
Of course. Yeah. We all have our local teams, right? Our local hockey teams, whether it's Little League or kind of the bigger, in our case, provincial hockey teams that are kind of playing, and school teams, right? Like that have facilities that people can advertise in. And there's value in it, but it's a different kind of value.
Okay.
Of course, it's not going to cost $5 million, and you're not going to get a televised ad. All those local cable programs, like cable stations rather, maybe showing some of those local games. And I've spoke with those cable providers who have said that viewers come to them and say, or go to their sponsors and say, thank you so much for sponsoring the broadcast of blah, blah, blah hockey game, like whatever it is. And we're not talking like NHL, like it's kind of the level below.
The next down,
which you wouldn't be able to see otherwise unless you're going to the rink. But if it's an away game, you can't do that. But sponsors are actually being accredited to, like, if it wasn't for you on this community cable, channel to sponsor this, the game wouldn't happen. Like, the game would happen, I wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah, right.
Right? So people tend to be much more loyal in that regard. Same thing when you're, buying the back of the Little League's soccer jerseys.
Right. Yep.
And Canada, Tim Hortons is a big supporter of Little League soccer. And why not? Because every time you show up to a Little League field, somebody's got their Tim Hortons cup in hand.
This is it, yeah.
So they should be giving back to the community in their way. But for the small business, it's like, it's maybe $500 to put your name on the Little League shirt or the women's 3-pitch or, men's field lacrosse team.
I might have a men's soccer team that will take you.
There you go. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but the value there as a player of the team or as a parent of a player of the team, you tend to be much more loyal, right, in that regard. Then on top of that, you have like the in-house advertising and sponsorship. So the stadium sponsorship, but not a stadium, right? It's like the rink boards.
Rink. Welcome to Canada. The rink.
At the rink,
yeah.
You can sponsor the clock or a section of seating or the boards that go around. And again, people who are frequenters of the rink, whether they're there 2 or 3 times a week because of their child or playing or watching the local game, they see it kind of more subliminally.
I feel like they're very loyal to the people. Like, I know that the hockey culture in our area is big.
Yeah.
And I have heard people say and recognize the people who are putting sponsorship up in the rink, and I feel like they would be very loyal to those people because how much they care about their hockey or their kids'
community,
hockey.
Right? That sport community that they're part of, and they try and pay it forward in some way, right?
Yeah.
So it may be, the local heating and air conditioning business that has a sign up in the hockey rink, and I'm not buying a furnace or air conditioner every year, but when I need it serviced, and I'm looking for the local business to come and take care of me, I'm going to have more affinity to the person who's supporting the Little League team or that's in the rink that I frequent and supporting my community.
There's a bit of trust there too. And I guess I'm going back to my own experience too. Like on my soccer team, there's a number of real estate agents, there's a number of contractors, there's who play on the team. And some of them have put their name on the shirt.
Yeah.
Purchase
and
shirts
usually
for us.
That's how it happens, right? There's some like, oh, my kid plays for that team, or my brother owns this company and he's decided to sponsor the shirts or something. And
I would say amongst our 15, 20 guys on our team, if we were looking for one of those services, we're going to walk over. It's kind of like, I'm now picturing it more like building trust. Yeah. Just getting your name out there, but in a trustful way.
Absolutely. I mean, you still have to be there. You've got to deliver what you say you're going to deliver, because I mean that trust can erode in a heartbeat. Yeah. As soon as you don't help your customers or do something bad, but it's there. And I mean, $5 million for a 30-second ad is really based on eyeballs, right? Like that's what it comes down to. And the same thing can be said for small businesses advertising and sponsoring sports, live sports, and events through. It could be a $200 rink board sign or a $500 shirt sponsorship. It really comes down to, how many people are going to see that brand. Yeah. And if you have the budget to do it, I mean, if I only had $500 to spend And the question is, for a small business, would I spend it on sponsoring a team or, buying a 30-second television spot in my local community? I would probably do the team.
Yeah.
Because at least you've got the longevity of the season.
Yep.
But I would also make sure that I'm there to meet the people. Like I'm seen in the community.
Yep.
I wouldn't do it blindly. I wouldn't
Yeah.
just throw an ad up in there and then expect that to happen, because that trust and that relationship has to be there. And if they can put a face to the name that they're seeing on their kids' shirts,
Yep.
then
No, I
there's the
agree.
value.
Yeah.
So, if I had $500 to spend and I did it on sponsoring a podcast, like the marketing podcast, I mean, I'd be loyal to that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. And on that note, definitely visit us on themarketingpodcast.ca to check out the show notes and connect with us. Let us know your thought, and if you are sponsoring, and what kind of results you're getting from kind of small team sponsorship, and let us know how we're doing. Give us a subscribe, or send us a like or a review. And thank you for listening and joining us. So for the Marketing Podcast, I'm Heather Watson.
And I'm Brendan Quigley.